if all it took to be good was to have the right equipment, the people who had the most money would always win.
Pan ydych chi'n content creator, y cyfan sydd ei angen arnoch chi yw eich ffôn, cysylltiad ryngrwyd a syniad da. Mae hynny yn y gwir y dechrau o llawer straeon llwyddiant. Dechreuodd KSI trwy lanlaeth o fideos FIFA o'i sefyll wely gyda set-up syml yn 2009. Oedd ei hiwmor ac ei hyder yn denu dilynwyr ac yna aeth ymlaen i wneud cerddoriaeth, bocsio ac agor busnesau. Nawr mae'n un o'r amwocaf yn y Deyrnas Unedig, ond dechreuodd gyda dim ond camera a consol. Dechreuodd Mr Beast trwy wneud fideos am gemau a chynnwys ffeithiol am YouTubers. Daeth yn fwy poblogaidd gyda heriau mawr a rhoi arian i bobl. Ar ôl blynyddoedd o arbrofi, mae e wedi profi bod creadigrwydd a gwaith caled yn gallu troi syniad i yn swydd go iawn. The Sidemen.
Hey guys and welcome to the Sidemen channel.
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 Yo guys and welcome to the Sidemen channel.
Dechreuodd y Sidemen fel grŵp o ffrindiau yn recordio gemau a heriau yn 2013. Roedd eu ffrindiaeth a'i hiwmor yn gwneud iddyn nhw sefyll allan. Nawr, maen nhw'n rhedeg brand mawr gyda dillad, bwyd a digwyddiadau i gyd wedi dechrau gyda fideos o'i ystafelloedd. Dechreuodd popeth gyda camera syml a syniad bach. Doedd pobl ddim eisiau bod yn enwog, roedd nhw jyst eisiau rhannu rhywbeth gyda'r byd. Newidrodd cyfryngau cymdeithasol popeth. Roedd wedi rhoi pŵer i pobl, pŵer wedi cael ei gweld, pŵer wedi cael ei clywed ac i adeiladu cymunedau eu hunain. I rai pobl, roedd creu fideos jyst yn hobi, ond i eraill roedd yn fwy, yn fusnes, yn ffordd o wneud bywoliaeth. Adeiladodd Avery Woods brand trwy greu'n gyson. Daeth Iron Mouse yn enw mawr ar Twitch bod hi'n byw gyda salwch. Mae'n posibl gwneud arian o creu cynnwys ac i llawer o bobl, dyna yw ei swydd llawn amser. Roedd ni eisiau deall pam mae pobl yn dewis y llwyfr yma, felly wnes i cysylltu â creadwr ar-lein i gofyn y cwestiynau syml. The question cyntaf wnes I gofyn oedd, what made you want to start content creation? Y person cyntaf wnes I gofyn y cwestiwn hyn I oedd Raymond Tish. Mae Raymond yn director/content creator o'r Philippines.
What made me want to start content creating? The idea, so the way I wanted to start content creation was during my sophomore/junior year of college. I was fully in depth, fully dived into creating my own short films, especially for school, and I felt very overwhelmed in creating short films, and I was like, you know what, let me start putting my own personal projects, whether it's putting mini vlogs to working on my own YouTube channel or YouTube videos. And that was the idea of wanting to my own personal stories out there instead of putting it more towards Hollywood short form, not short form content, but more short form narrative. So it's wanted to push more my YouTube YouTube videos instead of doing short film. That's when I wanted to start content creating, and that kind of sparked the videos I made back then and even till now. But yeah, that pretty much that push of not push, but the tiredness of I want to do something different, and that's where content creating started.
I started helping my friends with their content creation for sharing their stories, and overall because I wanted to film.
I've been making short films and music videos for the last decade plus, doing stuff as a freelance videographer, but it wasn't really till TikTok came around that it seemed like a viable career path to do content creation, because I started to build an audience on TikTok first, and then on Instagram ended up becoming kind of my main platform. And so I was able to start getting brand deals and things like that, working with pretty cool companies because of my portfolio of work on those two platforms. And honestly, it took me a really long time to finally jump into doing it full time. I only became a full-time video creator back in September 2024. Before that, I was working day jobs while also doing content creation. I was working at a software company.
Yr ail cwestiwn wnes I gofyn oedd, what's the best part about being a content creator?
The best part of being a content creator is meeting all the friends and creators from online and meeting them in person. I think with content creating, allowed me to connect with so many people from like different parts of the world. And the idea of where content creating makes the world and the internet smaller. And that's pretty much from, Creator Mag. Shout out to my friends Nate, Moy, and Shua. That's pretty much what they're like quoted, making the world smaller. And I know I just love meeting different people and kind of like having that relationships and connection of like, oh, you make content, let's bond and just be friends. And I met so many friends from just being a content creator and seeing all the stories that people made, and also just the idea of like inspiring others from my own content.
The best part about being a content creator is getting to travel a lot, and most of it getting paid for.
The best part of being a content creator is just, I think, the flexibility of like my schedule and how, when I'm not working on projects that are for clients or for brand deals, I'm able to make my own art, and that's what I love doing the most. I love, making videos, just for the fun of making videos. So, that's pretty cool to have that like flexibility in my schedule. Like today, I'll be working on a YouTube video that I've been wanting to make just for the fun of it for a while now. And I get like lost in that work. I really enjoy doing that.
Try to the question of, is content creation something you plan on doing long term?
Is content creating something you plan on doing long term? I guess so. More as a hobby, I would say. Right now, I don't really see it as like a full-time job. Because I do want to explore more of the videography route in business, in that kind of sense, like be like a freelance videographer and also being a content creator on both sides. So like, for example, like on my end, I'm a film director and also a videographer. That's more like the the business side, and more like the content creating, I'm more like film director and content creator. But yeah, I don't know, I'm very kind of on the fence about that, but we'll see what the next the next 2 to 3 years is. I'm very new. I'm still I'm still very new at content creating, in a way.
Long term, I'll definitely be creating content, but usually for companies and not my own accounts.
Is content creation something you plan to do long term? Hopefully, best case scenario, I get to keep on doing this for a long time. More than even just content creation, I see myself as an artist and a creative and a filmmaker, and so if I could keep on making films, keep on making art, that'd be amazing. So we'll see.
A question Olav of, how has content creation changed since you started, and how has that affected your work?
I think, that's a really good question. I think since then, oh my god, yeah, even during my sophomore and junior year, my first few content was mini vlogs. It was actually inspired by Eli Stone, where you casually record a hang out with a friend and just put an edit up right there, and it was very simple and very fun to do. And right now, currently, I've been really very in a I guess you'd say in a wall, in a slump. Not slump, but not even a creative. I guess not a creative block. It's just the idea of man, I gotta keep on going and work out, post the next video or work on my next video. It's been very interesting, thinking about from the beginning. It's it was easily to push out content or make content. Now it's a little bit overthinking about what kind of story do I want to make, to is this video good? But right now, especially being in the Philippines, man, I think I'm feeling that this trip is, I'm excited for all the content I'm planning to put out, and the idea of getting into the groove of things about it. I guess to recap, back then, so back then it's been very simple. And just easy to put vlogs or videos. But now, with getting the hang of things and kind of pushing more the storytelling of what I want to pursue, kind of been overthinking about certain things and stories that I want to push out, and it's kind of making me feel kind of a stumble or a block in the road. However, all I know that the main thing that I've been following for the quite in the few months is just keep on going, no matter what stage at, as long as I improve 1% each day, whether it's 1% or 100, making progress.
Content creation has its ups and downs, But overall, it's gotten easier to create and publish content lately, especially with CapCut and other apps like that.
And how has that affected your work? I think content creation, it gets harder and harder to kind of stand out from the crowd, just because so many people are doing it. So I think the way it's affected me is kind of in what sounds like a counterintuitive way, but the more that people lean into trends or doing stuff that they think the algorithm will like, I try to keep on leaning into what I like to make and hope that it finds its right audience, because the only way to kind of really stand out in a very big sea of content creators is to do something different.
A mae'n yw'n iawn. Mewn byd lle gall unrhyw un creu cynnwys, mae sefyll allan yn golygu meddwl yn wahanol. Wrth i'r dirwedd newid, mae ystyr bod yn creu'r cynnwys yn newid hefyd. A dyna pan mae cynnwys wedi newid o fideos byr ar YouTube I fyd cyfan a hunaniaeth, cyswllt a chyfleoedd newydd. Dydy creu cynnwys ddim yn just hobi bellach. Mae'n rhan o diwylliant modern. Wrth i'r llwyfannau newid, mae ffordd rydyn ni'n gwylio, rhannu a cysylltu hefyd yn newid. Felly, pwy fydd y sir nesaf? Efallai rhywun gyda digon o arian I brynu offer gorau? Neu efallai rhywun sydd ond â ffôn, syniad da ac yr ewyllus I barhau? Does dim llwybr traddodiadol. Mae creu cynnwys yn fwy nag enw ar sgrin. Mae'n ffordd o fyw, a mae stori yn dal I datblygu. Fe ddechreuon nhw gyda ffonau, gyda syniadau, heb cynllun, dim ond eisiau creu. Mae creu cynnwys dim just am mynd yn viral. Mae'n ymwneud â dweud stori, cysylltu gyda pobl ac adeiladu rhywbeth sy'n teimlo'n wir. Felly, os oed ti'n meddwl dechreuia. Paid aros am y camera perffaith, paid aros am caniatâd, dechreuia gyda'r hyn sydd gyda ti, a gwna rhywbeth sy'n dy adlewyrchu di.